impact on the decision. They think
Is that news breaking?
They think it's a bad omen.
Oh. Well, it certainly wasn't meant to be a bad omen. I would think that attendance at our games would be an important part of any decision going forward. So I'm surprised at that reaction.
You made the comment before the game that there is going to be a game there in 2018. When do you think that you guys make the decision on who that SEC plays?
I heard the reports as you did that we were considering buying out, and I'll just be as honest as I can be. Has someone said that that's an option? Yeah, probably. But has there been, let me be very clear, has there been any substantive conversation about buying out? Absolutely none that I've been engaged in. So I can speak for myself there. I've not been engaged in any conversations to buy out of a game in Little Rock. We believe in honoring the contract. We have a contract through 18, and we have a contract to play an SEC game in 18. So I fully intend to honor that contract.
You've said for a long time that the discussions have not happened with regard to what happens after next year. When do they happen? What's the timeline like now?
Oh, I think they're happening now. Sure, we're in that. That's what I meant last week when I said we're in that time period, because we've got to make decisions about scheduling teams, and scheduling teams in Little Rock or Fayetteville. You have to offer up to teams where they're going to play, and they need to be able to make a decision whether they're going to play the game in Fayetteville or Little Rock. So that's important to the opponents as well. So we just need to be making that decision. I mean, it doesn't need to be made in a week or a month. It needs to be, hopefully, in my view, made in the course of this season, so we can continue to schedule our future games.
Jeff, what was your reaction to 36,000 something at the game last year?
We'd hope for more, obviously. The crowd gives the team energy and excitement. It lifts the team. I hope people aren't going to be upset with me when I say disappointed. We were disappointed there weren't more fans. We thought that moving the game to Thursday night would create an energy opening night of college football, create a little more juice to the game against an FCS opponent. But I'm certain weather played a factor in that. And there are a lot of factors that go into the result of the attendance in that game, and I think weather was a big part of that.
Was attendance more of a cumulative thing? I mean, you go back to the Georgia game, not selling out down there.
Yeah, I think we look at all those things, Nate. I think we look at all the games we've had there. We look at evaluate that, and we've lowered the price of tickets in Little Rock as well, so they're not the same price. They're $35 and $45 in Little Rock now, and here single games are $45 and $65, if I get that off the top of my head. So, so we've done some things to encourage attendance at Little Rock, and but certainly attendance is a piece. It's not the only piece.
What will the north end zone look like on game day? Like it does now, or do you drape anything to maybe try to encapsulate noise?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to look like it is now. I think fans will be able to peer in there and see what's going on. There's too much construction. To be honest with you, I think it would be a waste of good money to try to cover up that large of a site. But I think it'll also give fans an opportunity to kind of see what's happening and get excited about the future of the north end zone.
What's the sound system going to be like in there? Is it coming from both ends, or how does that work?
Yeah, so, we've been working on the sound system before. We made a huge improvement in the sound system a season or 2 seasons ago. But the video boards will add sound. There'll be additional sound added because of a second video board, and then the video boards help capture the sound too. It doesn't ricochet out of the system. We are having to change that, and you guys know about sound systems. They're very delicate, so that north end zone piece is causing us to recalibrate throughout the stadium because it is different. The other thing I'll mention, nobody's asked, but the wind flows a little bit differently into the stadium, and I think our kickers have already noticed that, and have been planning and working accordingly.
A lot of fans look at Bret Bielema's status and the fact that he only has a 500 record since he's been here. and have them on the hot seat. Is that for you? Is that fair or foul?
You know what? I'm 100% behind Bret Bielema. He's our football coach. He's building a program. He's doing many, many things right. As I said today to this group, sure, we want to win a few more games. There's nobody who wants to win more games than Bret Bielema. And so we all want to win games. That's what we're here for. That's what competition is all about. So yes, I support Bret Bielema, and he's our coach, and he's doing a good job. And you know what? With a few more wins, he's doing an incredible job. So,
you mentioned the comment about teams deciding where they might play. How often does that happen when you're talking about maybe team? I know you guys are different than a lot of schools, but when you talk about where you're going to play conference games.
Well, yeah, conference games are different. But non-conference games, certainly the venue is very important to them, whether we play in Fayetteville or Little Rock. Sometimes it has to do with their travel, and the expense of travel and those kind of things. But I can't really know what their motives are for playing in Fayetteville or Little Rock.
If you mentioned wanting to do some stuff to Bud Walton Arena, what type of things specifically do you want to do?
Well, we like to study things, and I think that we have an abundance of seats, and maybe there's a way we can provide some different seating options for fans that would make the game. Again, our venues and fans are interested in the social aspect. So, are there ways that we can provide a social experience in Bud Walton Arena that will drive more people to attend games and be a part of the atmosphere in there? So we'll be looking at those things and really looking at fan surveys and seeing what fans are interested in having in a venue. But again, we're early in that process. We need to complete the North End Zone project before we bite off another chunk of our master plan.
And going into Bret's 5th year, just how do you feel about where the program is in Bret's 5th year?
Well, again, if you look at academics, you look at athletics, you look at graduations, all those things are factors in how Bret's doing. And Bret does an incredible job. He's a player's coach. And what I mean by that is players love playing for him. They love competing for him. But the difference is he has discipline and accountability. He sets a high standard for those young men. They know what's expected of them, and by and large, they're meeting those expectations off the field and in the classroom. So, you know what? We just, winning is an important part of what we do. And again, I'll say Bret knows that. I know that. We all know winning's important. So, and that's what we plan to do.
Orlando Cook's been suspended indefinitely. How do you guys handle that as an athletic department moving forward with him and maybe anything else that happens?
Well, that I'm not going to comment on how we're moving forward, but I will just say, we have a culture established in our program. I didn't have to have a conversation with Mike Anderson to tell him what my expectations are. He knows, and he met those. So rarely do I have to ever talk to a coach about discipline or the steps to take. Rarely. And that's because, we've established a culture, expectations in our program. Student athletes know it, the coaches know it, and they'll be held accountable. And then now we'll work with Mike in Orlando, and we'll figure out what the next steps are going forward.
Do coaches typically talk to you in these situations, or do they just make their own decisions and then you go from there?
No, coaches don't. They don't make their own decisions, but they typically make the decision before they even have to get my thoughts on their decision. So, because again, they know the expectations, they know the culture, they know what we're expected in our program. So those are not difficult conversations for this AD and our coaches, because they're typically right on page or even out ahead of the AD on what those disciplinary actions should or shouldn't be.
The mic kind of cut out when you were talking about Missouri, but it sounds like you said you believe Missouri should be in the West eventually.
Well, I do. That's just my opinion. That's one AD who feels that, Missouri is a Western school. It's in the West. It makes sense to be in the West. And, there may be other shifts in the future, but that's just my view. And the commissioner's not going to be shocked by that. We talked about it, or I talked about it, as we brought Missouri into the conference. And again, they're in the East, and that I had hoped or thought that over time, no time period set, but over time, Missouri would be situated in the West.
Do you feel like that will happen?
I don't know.
Jeff, you talked about adding facilities for the student athletes, and then the next plan was to get the fans new facilities and stuff. I can only assume the natural progression's media.
Absolutely. You know, we brought in a new food provider this year, and I'm Levy. Levy will be providing the halftime food for the media, and I think you'll see we've taken a substantial step up.
The Aggie, one of the Aggie regents commented pretty publicly about Kevin Sumlin. Did that surprise you? I know you don't have anything to do with A&M, but they're in your division. The guy would do that, and what would be your reaction if somebody on Arkansas's board did something like that?
We've seen people do that across the country at different institutions. I don't think it's in the best interest of the athletic program or the university for someone to speak out like that. But let's be very clear. They are regents. They are trustees. They have the freedom to speak out as they so choose. So, you know, we would, if we had the situation, we would just deal with it as we would. But, you know, people have the ability to speak out. I just did saying that Missouri should be in the West, okay?
Hey, I know, going back to War Memorial, I know that, you know, there's a sense that the games may be coming to an end. I'm wondering, in the discussions you've had, if going into the discussions, it's the sense that it is ending, or is there have there been realistic possibilities or people bringing up ideas of ways to keep it happening? The
Yes.
games and how?
Yes.
1 game, 2 games, 3 games?
Yes.
Years?
Like U.S. representatives, for example.
Yes. No, I don't understand that.
Prince Hill last week said he's going to fight
Oh,
to keep it.
I have no comment on that. I didn't see the comment, have no knowledge of that comment.
You know those Lowe's seats?
My answer to that really not to be. There are lots of people suggesting lots of things, and that's to be expected. It's a passionate state. The Razorbacks are important to this state. There's a history and tradition, so you know I'm not surprised by people wanting games to remain. I'm not surprised by those who feel all the games should be in Fayetteville. So, you know, there are definitely those things. The one thing I hope, and I will say, I hope it doesn't turn into a stadium debate. I think, you know, that we've seen the issues that have been created over 20 years. I think it's almost 20 years since those decisions were made back then. You know, so I hope we don't turn it into a statewide debate or referendum. There are certainly people that can make the decision and make it in the best interest of the university and the state and the system, and let's play ball.
Arkansas State, any part of that discussion at all playing in there?
Not in, or I don't know about Arkansas State playing in War Memorial Stadium. That wouldn't
Against
be,
you guys, would that
no conversations that I'm aware of.
Hey, with the playoff, was that originally a 4-year deal for you, or did they add on a year for your?
No, it was originally a 4-year, Bob. If you remember, there was a group that served 2, a group that served 3, and a group that served 4, and then everyone coming on would then serve 3. So there are, I think, 4 of us that served. I think there's 4 of us that served 4 years.
You're like the survivors.
Yes, we're the last ones on the
Are
island.
you looking forward to another year on the playoff committee? You're kind of glad
You know,
it's about to end?
it's challenging. It's rewarding. I love college football. I love watching the games. But you know, I think 4 years is long enough to be on the committee. I think they got it right with the 3 years rolling on and off. I think you need new blood in there, new viewpoints, and so I think that's healthy for the thing. So I'm thrilled to have served 4 years, and I certainly think my time has come to roll off at 4 years.
And there's no chance you try to buy out the last year?
Not going to buy out the last year of my term on the committee, no sir. I have no plans, no discussions.
Keep your man cave though, right?
I still get the man cave. She's threatening to make me take down my. She's threatening to unbundle me because I have too many services.
All right, thanks, guys.